1. Not everyone who likes K-pop has an Asian fetish. Let's get something straight. Liking K-pop doesn't automatically mean someone has an Asian fetish. This assumption is not just wrong, it's downright insulting. We're in 2024, and somehow, people still can't separate genuine appreciation for a genre of music from creepy stereotypes. K-pop is a global phenomenon, and its fans come from all walks of life. Reducing that to some twisted obsession is not only lazy, but incredibly narrow-minded. They're not sitting there with some fetish checklist. They're enjoying the music, the choreography, and the sheer artistry that goes into every performance. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. K-pop has always leaned into being visually appealing and yes, sometimes sexually suggestive. This isn't exactly breaking news. The industry knows what sells, and that's been part of its strategy from day one. The idols are styled to perfection, the performances are polished to a shine, and sometimes, they're meant to be a little provocative. But here's the thing, this doesn't mean that fans are automatically objectifying the idols or that they're driven by some bizarre fetish. The vast majority of fans are there for the talent, the music, and the culture. What's really frustrating is how quick people are to jump to these conclusions. It's like they can't fathom that someone might genuinely enjoy something that comes from a different culture without having ulterior motives. This constant need to paint K-pop fans as fetishists is not just annoying, it's exhausting. It puts fans on the defensive for no good reason, forcing them to justify their love for a genre that, frankly, shouldn't need defending. And let's be clear, K-pop companies know exactly what they're doing. They're marketing a product, and they're good at it. They know how to create a package that's appealing on multiple levels, and they're not shying away from it. But to suggest that the entire fan base is only there because of some fetish is a gross oversimplification. Fans appreciate the hard work, the dedication, and the sheer talent that goes into every song, every dance, and every comeback. It's about so much more than just looks or surface-level attraction. Can we finally drop the lazy stereotypes? Enjoying K-pop doesn't make someone a fetishist. It makes them a fan of a genre that's taken the world by storm. It's time to start respecting K-pop for what it is: music, culture, and art. Fans deserve better than to be pigeonholed into some outdated, offensive narrative. Let's move on and appreciate K-pop for the global cultural force that it is. 2. K-pop versus the West: delusional and one-sided drama. The whole K-pop vs the West debate is getting blown way out of proportion, and honestly, it's starting to get a bit embarrassing. It's like watching a reality show where everyone is trying way too hard to create drama that just isn't there. Sure, there are differences in music, culture, and industry practices, but does that really mean we need to pit them against each other like it's some kind of musical showdown? Spoiler alert, it's not. Be real for a second. Both K-pop and Western music have their strengths and weaknesses, and they cater to different audiences in different ways. K-pop is known for its meticulously crafted performances, visually stunning music videos, and fan engagement that's second to none. Western music, on the other hand, brings its own flavor with diverse genres, global reach, and a history that's deeply ingrained in pop culture. There's room for both to coexist without turning this into a pointless rivalry. What's really at the heart of this debate, though? It's not about which one is better. It's about the fact that some people can't handle the idea that something outside their comfort zone is gaining popularity. It's like when you were a kid and didn't want to try new food because it looked different, except now. It's grown adults who should know better. K-pop isn't here to take over or replace Western music. It's here to offer something fresh, exciting, and yes, sometimes a little different. The real issue is the unnecessary gatekeeping and the refusal to appreciate something just because it's unfamiliar. We should be celebrating the fact that we live in a world where we can enjoy music from all corners of the globe, not turning it into some weird cultural competition. If anything, this so-called fiasco is just a reminder that people need to chill out and enjoy the music instead of trying to stir up controversy where there really isn't any. 3. Weirdos on Instagram. It's odd how some people on Instagram feel the need to make everything about sex, even when it's completely unrelated. You'll be scrolling through a post about something as innocent as a new K-pop music video or a group's fashion choices, and there it is, a random comment turning the subject into something sexual. It's like they can't help themselves but inject innuendo where it doesn't belong, and it's not just unnecessary, it's disturbing. Honestly, it's a reflection of something deeper. If you find yourself constantly turning everyday things into sexual jokes or comments, it's time to take a step back and reassess. Why do you feel the need to sexualize everything? It's not just about humor or being edgy, it's a sign that something isn't quite right. And while you might think it's funny or harmless, it's actually making people uncomfortable. This behavior crosses a line from being lighthearted to being creepy, especially in the K-pop community, where fans already face stereotypes about being overly obsessive. For those who scroll through and notice these kinds of comments, it's not just weird, it's disappointing. Instagram, like any social media platform, should be a place where people can share and enjoy content without feeling like they're stepping into some uninvited and inappropriate conversation. When K-pop fans contribute to this culture by making sexual comments, it doesn't just affect the post, it gives the entire fandom a bad reputation. If you're one of those people leaving these kinds of comments, you should seriously reconsider what you're doing. It's not just a joke, it's a problem, and it reflects poorly on you and the entire K-pop community. People who constantly sexualize everything need to recognize that not everything is about that, and most fans don't want to see those kinds of comments. Instead of counting how many inappropriate remarks you can make, maybe it's time to count how many times you can contribute something meaningful or positive to the conversation, uplifting both the fandom and the artists we all support. No excuse for making everything sexual, especially in spaces where it's not welcome. It's weird, it's off-putting, and frankly, you should be disgusted with yourself. There are better ways to interact with content online, ones that don't involve making others uncomfortable or crossing boundaries that shouldn't be crossed. We should strive to create a community that reflects the passion, creativity, and positivity